Hi everyone, Jaymes Mansfield here bringing you yet another video. Oh my God, you guys. Now, I was so fascinated by the Gibson girl being the it girl of the 1900s that I decided who was the it girl of the 1920s. So I figured out that was actually what they call the flapper. Yeah, not like what happens with your arms. You're like, dude, let's like this, like that, like the fat of your arms. That's not the flapper. No, the flapper was actually like the it girl of the 1920s. She was a party girl. She was a modern gal out to get it for herself. Okay, she's gonna get what she wants. And I decided let's celebrate that and create the hairstyle that was all the rage. With flappers, it was all about like cutting off those long, heavy hair pieces and just having your hair nice and like short and maintainable. Like something you could like whip around while you're dancing and doing drugs. Yeah, very much that. Drugs, dancing, and booze was flappers like MO. Or at least that's what the papers would have you think. They had to think they're those tawdry, troublemaking girls. Now I'm gonna style this flapper hairstyle on the country diva Auburn from Jaymes Mansfield Beauty. She is a fantastic wig at a very affordable price. She's got permatease and just decadent curls that you can do so much with. Now you can like keep them long or you can cut them short. She kind of resembles Miss Texas from Miss Congeniality. That's always what I think of when I put it on. Oh my gosh. Now I am going to prep her and I'll be right back and we'll start talking all about the it girl that is the flapper. Now, from what I've seen, the flappers wore like a variant of the same hairstyle. Most people, when they do costumes, they always do like, Catherine Zeta-Jones Bob from Chicago. That's too easy. I don't like that. Or it's like messy curls, like stacked up messy curls. I remember this because when we did that Joan the Rusical, Kahana was actually supposed to play the flapper Joan Crawford, and she did not want to wear that wig they gave her. She looked like J-Lo from the Fly Girls, like her Fly Girl era. It was very much just like asymmetrical, awkward curls. Like I would have threw a fit too. I was like, I'm not wearing this. They let her switch her wig, thank goodness. It would have looked a mess. But yeah, it looked like J-Lo from the Fly Girls. Yeah, it was completely out of era. It did not work. I could understand the vision, did not hit the right notes. We're gonna do a little bit of both. I'm gonna do like a bit of a side part, like a severe side part with like lots of curls. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim this hair a tiny bit. And by a tiny bit, I mean a lot. We're cutting out a lot of curls today, but it's gonna be worth it because we have to have it like short and cropped. Basically, we want like a nice nipped in bob with curls on it to like reflect like the perfect flapper girl of the 1920s. Basically what Susie Toot thinks she looks like.
Hi, Susie.
She was very, very sweet when I met her. Hence why I felt comfortable saying something about her, so shady. You can almost start seeing them stacking up a little bit when you cut them. I'm cutting them a little unevenly because I want to get that stack going. You can already see it starting to form a little bit. Now, those of you who are wondering, who the hell is Clara Bow? Clara Bow was actually like an actress in the 1920s, and she was the one they coined the term the It Girl for because, well, she starred in a film called It Girl based on the book It, which, fun fact, was not actually about a woman. It was gender swapped when they made the movie because Clara Bow is just that popular. Like, here's the thing. She truly did reflect the phenomenon of It Girl because she came basically out of relative obscurity and became like the fascination of the public. Unlike today where basically you just have to be born into a famous family and then magazines decide you're the It Girl because you got a stylist. I'm not naming any names, the Kardashians. Basically, she was the most organic it girl of our history. They're truly the blueprint of it all because she was talented, she was fascinating, she had great style, she did her makeup in an interesting way, and women emulated this. Like they wanted to look like her. Even so much so, there was a point where she drew her lips in like that weird bow lip that was coined by her. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's probably my least favorite lip trend of all of history, but it happened. It happened. You know, women were doing their lips like that to look like Effie Trinket back in the day. It did happen. Personally, I don't understand what that lip does for anybody. It's never been my favorite in any era, but to each their own, truly. To each their own. Who am I to police people's beauty? Add a little bit of teasing to this so that we can like smooth it over. One of the downsides of Clara Bow and like her fame was like, she was so famous to the point where like, it was like pre-era Britney Spears. Like the paparazzi and the press were merciless to her. Like, yes, she got the upside of like having very, very financially successful movies, but like the press was nasty. Anytime she was in a relationship, it was blown out of proportion. And to like I said, Britney Spears levels where it's just like, oh my God, Clara Bow is at it again. She's with another guy. What a scam. That was basically the conjecture she had to face anytime she opened a paper and her name was mentioned. It was like, oh my God, can you believe this bitch has another boyfriend? She can't hold on to a man. Imagine like Taylor Swift to the nth degree, where everyone just blames her and the way she lives for the reason why she can't keep a man. And they compare her to other actresses at that time, like Mary Pickford, who was like a prim and proper, like, you know, lady. Boring movies, by the way. But she was seen as like the antithesis to a Clara Bow. A decadent party girl who can't keep her legs closed. Always a new man. It's so bizarre how not much has really changed when you look at it. Like, they still pit women against each other this way, even today. And that was all kind of like the background when it came to the flapper. And I feel like a lot of that was like, that dialogue was like created because, well, the public was threatened by this new modern woman. Like free thinking gals that wanted to raise their skirts up and cut their hair and dance and party and hold down jobs. Like basically having their own independent lives outside of men. Dating whoever they wanted. Like this was seen as a very threatening thing back in those days. And especially the public and men did not know how to react to this. Either you embraced it or it scared the shit out of you. Or you just didn't take any time to understand it whatsoever, like Hollywood did. All they saw was like,
okay, how can we exploit this to make money?
Because you look at the 1920s, there are a few girls that made their living being flappers on film. Now, Clara Bow is probably the most successful and the most well-known, but there were others. There were other gals who were flappers, like Louise Brooks, who was like even more the polar opposite of Clara Bow. She was like the bad girl. Like she was the one that like was committing crimes and shit, you know? She was being gay and doing crimes. That was Louise Brooks. Pandora's Box, with that fly-ass bob that's blunt, that cuts into her cheeks. Oh my God, that jet black hair, everything. And again, she was one of those types where she was nothing like the persona she portrayed, but she caught strays everywhere she went. People just assumed she was. Or even Joan Crawford, who was the dancing flapper. And again, Joan Crawford was always kind of a poser. She never really was what she was portraying on screen. She just became it because she always would fall into like whatever persona she needed to become in order for women to identify with her. But she never actually lived that life. Like, she was a chorus girl, but that bitch wanted to be famous. That was all it was about. She didn't care what it was as long as you knew her name. She's like that feminist shit to the side, okay? I just want fame. All right, now I'm going to tease these curls a bit more and I'll be right back. We have the hair all teased out. Now it's a matter of styling it up to create this flapper hairstyle. Now, when I look at Clara and some of the rolls she did, she kind of like slicks it to the side, sort of like how this one is, only this one's more of like a loose curl. This one's a little bit too 40s. We want more 20s. The 20s, they like those tight ass curls, okay? They like the little ringlet, Shirley Temple looking ass curls. So we're gonna try and bring those back. Like something that moved good when you danced. In case you're wondering what's been going on in my life, I recently just attended the Mid-Century Modern premiere. That's a new TV show on Hulu starring Matt Bomer and the one loud gay guy from the Birdcage and other people. Two Nathans for the price of one by the creator of Will and Grace. I was paying attention. I swear to you, I was paying attention. And it's sort of like a gay Golden Girls kind of thing. Yeah, it was fun. It was cute. The event was a lot of fun. Oh. So here's the thing I want to talk about when it comes to like little events like this. Not to like eat my own ass or anything. I always forget just like
How famous I actually am sometimes, because
as I was just standing there in full regalia, looking gorgeous, beautiful, one might say, breathtaking, stunning, truly a vision of Hollywood glamour, who should walk by and I'm not even paying attention, but Cheyenne Jackson. And Ernie tapped my shoulder and I wasn't paying attention. He's like, James, he just said, hi, James. And you weren't even looking. I was like, oh my God, I wasn't looking. I wasn't even paying attention. Cheyenne Jackson walked right by me, knew exactly who I was, said hi, and I wasn't even paying attention. Only in Hollywood do stories like this happen. Oh my, I was just too enamored with standing there being a glamorous, famous, like, you know, vixen. Well, I saw Daniel Frazzesi. He was there. And, I met Ray Santiago from Ash vs. the Evil Dead. That was one of the ones I really truly did fangirl over because I love him. Especially when he was playing in Ash vs. the Evil Dead. I loved his character in that. So I was just like, because that was one of those shows I was watching on tour. Like I would be watching that one as like a comfort show because it was fun. and was like one of the few. I was also like, you know, Janie Come Lately to the Party, where like the show was already like well off the air and canceled by the time I caught up to it. But again, that's how long it took for it to come on streaming. Good times, good times. Oddly enough, Trixie wasn't there, but her assistant was. He brought Ray, and I thought that was kind of bizarre. I was wondering, you know, why she didn't turn up. She never gave me a solid answer.
Diarrhea.
I'm content in the thinking she just didn't want to go. She just didn't feel like it, which is fair. That's fair, I guess. Now, here's the thing. I put myself in these situations from time to time where I probably would get murdered if it was any other person. But for me, I don't know why I just have this kind of luck. But I actually was staying at my friend Dax's like house for this event. Like I flew in and I didn't have a place to stay because like all my friends in LA, it turns out they're always the first ones to say, anytime you're in LA, just let us know. You'll have a place to stay. Well, should the time come, suddenly everything happens and they have no space. There's no room at the end. I'm so sorry. I'm not naming names, Teddy Bear, but I'm just saying like, you know, they do say things. And you know, they never really hold up their end of the bargain. Again, I'm not saying any names, Teddy Bear. But yeah, my friend Dax actually let me stay at his place. And that name might sound familiar if you're a fan of Cruising Mr. Christmas, the podcast, because he was actually a contestant on Finding Mr. Christmas. He let me stay in his room because he's on tour in Tucson doing Jersey Boys. And I have to say, he like cleaned out his entire apartment because he's like living on the road, right? But that didn't stop me from like taking a picture of his dead plant and sending it to him. I told him like, I expected to find out many things about you staying here, but I never thought I'd find out you were a murderer. That plant was so sad and dead, he didn't take it with him. Plants thrive inside gay men's apartments. Usually they outnumber the people, but he proved exception to the rule. He truly did. You know, he's an exceptional person. He manages to kill plants. A gay that can kill plants. Who'd have thought? I am just gonna keep brushing out these little curlies to make her look nice and girly. And again, the whole point of this hairstyle is because women were fucking tired of having their hair all piled up on top of their head and not wearing makeup. For once, like they decided to re-embrace makeup, just coat their faces in makeup, okay? Clown makeup. This is the era where girls were wearing like bright ass pink blushes. Like they did not care. The pancake makeup came out, the lipstick was on, you couldn't tell them shit, okay? The flappers were a good time gal. Like they're the ones saying, look here, bitch, I am re-embracing this, it is fun, it is my body, I'm gonna raise my skirt all the way up to a mini size above the knee. Yes, scandalous, I know. Skirts were raised above the ankles and to the knee. And people were scandalized. It's so fun to think about now because like now in this day and age, like fashion, it's like fetish wear on the runway now. Like it's so like normalized. But in that day, having your skirt all the way to the knee, bitch, who do you think you are? All right, now I'm just gonna keep styling this and I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Now, as you see, I am just adding a bit more teasing and just styling this gal up to get that 1920s look. Now, I was debating if I want to do like without bangs or with. And I think I kind of want to do with, because I think with is more like of the era with Clara Bow, like that wild, crazy hair, but still had a bit of like style and sophistication to it. Also, I feel like when I swoop it to the side like that, it looks like Charles Busch and Die Mommy Die, which is not what we want. It's a great look. It's just not what we want. A little too 60s, a little too Suzanne Hayward for our liking. You know, we don't need that. We need Clara Bow. So we're just gonna sit here and just style through this, cut as we need cut, and just embrace the craziness. Because again, one of the fun things about Clara is that she was constantly playing with her hair, even in her movies. Like everything was like acting for her, you know? Because she was a wild girl. She'd dance on tables. You never knew what she was gonna do. She was the original manic pixie dream girl of the 1920s. Now, one thing I think is kind of fascinating about her is like, despite the fact that like she was this major star, you think she'd be in like these big glamorous movies. No, bitch. What I think is so crazy is like the studios knew they could make so much money just off her personality alone, how popular she was, that they never actually put any money into her movies. So when you watch them, it's just like, damn, this thing is like cheap as hell. Like it's literally like a one-room stage practically. Like they put no money into it whatsoever. It's like, just make sure Clara's there, make sure she's in a pretty dress. And as far as it goes, love interest, who gives a shit? Tell the same story 16 times and the people will eat it up. And they did. It's crazy because like a lot of her movies don't really hold up the scrutiny. Like she's the best part of all of them. And again, the stories are usually garbage. The men are forgettable. A lot of her leading men are forgettable. It's like lampshade boyfriends, girl. It's like no personality. They're just there to be bewildered by how crazy this girl is. It's as if Garden State were like less memorable, if that makes any sense. The Zooey Deschanel of her time, with better hair and better dresses and less annoying. So not Zooey Deschanel at all. Anyways, I'm gonna keep running my brush through this. We're gonna embrace the curls, and we'll be right back with our final result. The fun, carefree flapper. Welcome back. This is the final result. I don't know why it sounded like Southern. How do flappers sound? I feel like they talk like James Cagney or something, like,
this is the final result, see?
kind of like that or something. I don't know. You know, I just love the Charleston, see? Yeah, oh, yeah, that works. That's a flapper. That is definitely a flapper. That's how flappers sound, see? Oh my gosh, and the Charleston, my favorite is like move with the legs like that. Yeah, that kind of shit. I love that stuff. Anyways, this is our final result. Is my take on the flapper. Now, a lot of people always think it's like finger waves or like really slick bobs, but it's really not the case. Like, it's a very like Hollywood-esque like reimagining of what flappers were like. Because when you look at Halloween costumes, a lot of them don't really go to the direct history of how it was. It's really more about curls. Like, they really love big stacked curls, but how they really looked, it was all about dancing and all about like having hair that moved. So that's truly what it's all about. But yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this It Girl era series we are doing right now. We had done the Gibson Girl before, and this has been the flapper. Now, I'm excited to take on who the It Girl of the 1930s was. I wonder who that would be. I am truly curious. Leave a comment down below and let me know who you think the It Girl of the 1930s was. I'm dying to hear. All right? Now, I have to take a moment for my wiglets. Roll it!
And I'd like to give a shout out to my wiglets. Jacob, Louise, Sponge King, Ernie, Duke, Just BKZ, Vera, myself, Pearface, So Many Kitties, JT, Christine, Curtis, Romeo and Juliet, Rose, Darth Curray, Catalina, Miss Lansing, Marine, Veronica, Molly, Dolores, E-Rex, Roger, Brian, Margarita, Adam, Becca, Chrissy, JJ, Selena, Ricky, Dirkus, Myron, Gwendolyn, Pack, Eliza, Hermage, Homeo and Obliette, Ramona, Tyler, Miss Mosey D, Robin, Cat, Ava, Doug, Angus, James, Kurt, Jason, John, Nero, Mina, Rachel, Missy, Emily, Cameron, George, Pickles, Shane, Miss Sheringham, Daniel, Joby, Taxicab, February Roses, Lincoln, Olive, Mateo, Miss Longy, Macon, Dustin, Nathan, Bree, Harmon, Iced Out Girlfriend, Ember, and Savage. Thank you so much, Wiglets.
Thank you so much, Wiglet She. I also have to take a moment for my community spotlight. Look at them. Look at how they worship me, She. Look at all of them being such wonderful people out there in the dark, She. And I also have some YouTube super thanks from Roger. Thank you so much, Roger. And Homeo and Obliette. And Harmon. Thank you so much, Harmon. I also have a Venn moment from Billy. Thank you so much, Billy. And McKay. Thank you so much, McKay. Thank you all so much for the thanks. I do appreciate it. Now, this was so much fun. Again, it's always fun, like reliving and like retelling the stories of these famous hairstyles and what inspired them. Like, what were people going through back then to where this is how they wanted their hair to look? And truly, with the flapper, this is fun. Like, there's a lot of movement. Like, I just want to go out and smoke cigarettes. Oh yeah, and dance. Now, thank you all so much for watching. If there's an It Girl era you want to see me cover, be sure and leave it down below. We don't have to stick to a certain timeline, okay? I'm not a fucking time traveler. Anything that sounds interesting, I'm willing to jump ahead and do it. All right, now don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you in the live stream, She. Bye! Now, hit the outro. Click here and watch me style the It Girl hairstyle of the 1900s, the Gibson Girl. Or watch my vlog of the 1000th show of Drag Race Live. Come on, click it, you know you want to. If you don't click it, I'll make you sleep with the fishes, She. So click it.